Hi, I'm Chuck Conrad from Classic Car Club. You're watching an experiment right now. You're in a little studio in my garage. Actually, it's just upstairs over my garage where I keep my cars. And we're putting together our first ever NTR Classic Reflections video. Now, this is kind of an unusual thing. So far, no other Classic Car Club, at least to our knowledge, has ever made a video of the year's events and distributed it to their members at no charge, or, as part of your dues or whatever you want to call it. But we're trying this, and I think we're the very first. So this is part of history being made. Whether it's going to be any good or not, I don't know. But you can all watch it, and we'll see what happens. And maybe we'll do it again next year, and maybe we won't. But anyway, I do hope you enjoy it. Now, I'm not going to try and narrate all of this. That would be just incredibly hard to do, number one. And number two, you've probably got your own stories to tell anyway, so it'll be a lot more fun with your own words thrown in. So just remember that as you're watching, and have a good time. All right, I know I said I wouldn't narrate the whole thing, but I'll just do a little bit here. First event is the NTR Christmas Party, which is held in December of 1992. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a 1993 video. Well, that's true, but Classic Car Club of America starts its year in November, so really December is the first of our year. And this was a great unveiling for Blair Miller's new Lincoln, new to him anyway. And let's see what happens at the party. I think it's self-explanatory. We all met at Bugatti's restaurant, good Italian food in Northwest Dallas. Blair's new Lincoln came in under its own power this time, making its debut and making it the center of attention for the entire day.
In its failure to proceed.
It failed to proceed.
Yeah, that's how Rolls-Royce
That's right.
describes cars that just won't go.
Yeah.
Well,
they never break down.
It stopped all that foolishness, and we discovered its malfunction to be a small particle of trash in the carburetor, which required disassembly of half of the engine to get at the carburetor, because the damn thing is buried down in the bottom, in between 60 degrees. Now it runs like a champ. I made the autovac work, and it works fine. And this I put on after it failed to proceed. Because at this point it's filtered through here, and the carburetor is somewhere down in the bowels of this thing.
So if you get more trash, it'll get caught here.
See the shiny places on my knuckles? They're healed. They're healed. I mean, that is where the term ooga came from. You can hear it's a 3-syllable horn. And this visor is a real dilly. These are steel plates.
Well, that is a pretty... Now,
do you have a new toy? Is that what we're doing?
It's not that new. I've had this since the summer sometime. But I've agreed to make the first Classic Reflections video.
Oh, okay. That's what this is all about.
DT, I can tell you right now, we're going to end up on the cutting room floor.
I think so. Thanks, Jack.
Fine. That's, yes. Cut.
You shot me.
Bug tussle.
But he said,
Now, who's going to do bug tussle this year? We're gonna volunteer you? Nobody will take a job, and then Chuck says, "Oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it."
So I don't want to get the
You said 1:30.
Hello, Al.
Thank you for paying attention.
Well, Lois is supposed to be gone by now. She's on though. It's not till 1:30. Lois, that's what I Stacks of magazines. I couldn't even look at it. Yeah, every 66 issues. I take automobile and I used to take all. What are you doing? The red light is on me. That means you're on. That means, yeah. Say something funny. I forgot the joke I was about to tell.
And the roadmap will have anything new coming up, etc. And Classic Reflections will be out fall.
It's out in the car right now.
It is.
Yeah.
you got a bunch of...
Oh, okay.
Whatever y'all want to do, that's fine with me.
Save some money, sure. Keep it in the club.
can watch hours of
Always be careful what you wish for, because you might get it.
If you don't win it, let us fall.
Here.
What?
Now, he didn't drive a classic. There's an impartial guy.
Here, pick one,
No, he
okay?
didn't drive one over there.
Think of the answer.
Glenn Miller.
Hey, Sean, I'll split it with you.
Take this Blair, please.
That was the magic word, please. Right there.
My name's Blair.
Oh, boy, is that...
Careful, Blair.
Okay, open it up. Okay, this beautiful Scotch-clad...
Is that your car start signing it?
Not quite.
Well, maybe I better not bring it in, huh?
Cars, Peter Roberts. Thank you very much. I am delighted.
Well, it looks like everybody had a pretty good time at the Christmas party. It was Ward Beebe's first day as regional director. Well, not first day, but first official function. And everybody had a good time kicking tires and telling tall tales and all the kind of good things that we just like to do as Classic Car Club folks.
Well, lost
We're being monitored. We better not make any deals.
It's a pretty chilly winter day in Dallas when Phil Compton, our activities director, took us off to the Las Colinas studios to find out how films are made in the North Texas area. It's a fun day. Not every car to show up, of course, was a classic, but then, of course, it was kind of cold. And these are classics in training, anyway. I'm not sure what you call the electric, if it's a classic in training or a past classic, or let's call it an electric. That's it, Jim. Get those tires straight.
Off when I left the house. But
Tire kicking seemed to be the order of the morning, but you know, everywhere I go, there's a film critic.
I used to sell those.
God, one of these video nuts. Jeez, it's like my dad, you know, just videos everything.
What a mistake. What a mistake.
Golly, how in the world does anybody make a mistake like that?
I don't know. I understand there was a big memo from the president.
I bet he's not around anymore.
I can imagine that.
Here come the Bickles in for a landing. Maybe I should say berthing.
I don't know.
She's always a good program. We've had it already a couple, 3 times. Barbara's had it, so she said there's some great.
One of the best things to do while waiting in line is to visit with your friends. We finally got inside and looked around and saw how films were made. I think we're looking at the White House right there, using JFK. I never figured out what the water faucet was for. But they did have some interesting sets around. Most kids would really like the makeup department. This miniature was part of a courtroom scene used in the movie JFK, which was largely shot in Dallas and at the studios at Las Colinas.
What I had done was I couldn't get close enough, so I just passed the pen and the picture over there.
As we ventured outside, we noticed that our cars were getting about as much attention as the inside studio tour was. It's funny how classic cars do that. We walked across the parking lot into the National Broadcast Museum. Now, this is a place I can really relate to because this is just old electronic junk. But now, when you think about it, they used to call our cars just old automotive junk, too, so, you know, things have a way of coming around. In the museum was a very definitely non-classic but nice Model A Ford panel delivery truck belonging to Victor Duncan. Victor Duncan actually is one of the preeminent Model A Ford collectors and restorers in the country and happens to be a Dallas resident and also very active in the film business.
Have you noticed how often you're surrounded by glass these days? You're living in the golden age of girl watching. And I too.
Our next stop was lunch, but you can't videotape everything. April found the NTR hosting Classic Car Club's Spring Grand Classic. It was the week after the Dallas Symphony's Concours d'Elegance Dallas, so it was a busy time for classic car people. We selected the Doubletree Park West Hotel, which proved to be really up to the job of taking care of a bunch of car folks. These folks did a really great job.
Because they can try it.
Other than nice rooms and good food, one of the nicest features of the DoubleTree turned out to be their enclosed parking garage, which they generously shared with us. Unfortunately, the next day, we really needed this room. This gentleman is Joe Patton. He drove all the way in this car from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, he came for the Concours as well, and I never saw him any time when he wasn't polishing his car, so we started calling him Mr. Wax. Saturday morning found our cars out in the judging field, but unfortunately, the weather wasn't really with us. If you'll notice, people are wearing jackets. The day before had been really nice. The judges got busy and did their jobs. What's this?
I'm not a runner. Boy, is this card up for me or boy, doesn't it?
Hey, when it pulled up, I thought Ward had been polishing.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Really, big time. Well, also the interior.
Well, I just saw it from across the parking lot. One of our meetings sometime.
That's great.
Runner! Can we over there? Howard, Runner here. Hey, how you doing?
Shooting?
Yep.
Pretty good anyway.
Did you hear what we said? Go ahead. 100 points.
You're a judge.
Go have a cup of coffee. Oh my God. Yeah, I used to go to Bible class for Oh, yeah.
Oh, they will. They will. Yeah. But then, you know, you get this thing out the road, you get in a nice long.
We're here.
I'm trying to recognize you.
It was time to.
It's brand new. Just like it's out of prison. 15,000 miles.
Your what?
In storage in Georgia for 20 some odd years. So Anglia
Now, it's not the prettiest thing.
Well, you got that right.
But I'll tell you one thing.
But it's low mileage.
I've had it. Oh, yeah. It's just
Boy,
like
he's a
brand
sucker
new.
for those low mileage.
That's right.
I really am.
No,
I'll buy anything. That's
God almighty.
I really will.
Of course, that means the damn thing broke when it was new and nobody ever fixed it.
Basically. Yeah. They just didn't like it.
That's right.
It wasn't. If you haven't heard the
There
rest
does
of
mean nobody ever bought any of these
Yep,
damn
that's-
things.
you haven't heard the rest of the story. I've had it maybe 6, 7 months, and I filled it up when I got it, and it's still half full.
I've got it started yet, huh? Vapor locks, huh?
Oh yeah, that's all I look for. I don't have any money, so I just
About this time, the wind really came up, the temperature dropped about 10 degrees, and it started to rain, so it forced us all inside to the parking garage, which we were real glad to have. But we had a good time anyway. Have you ever wondered what your board of directors really does? Well, actually, quite a lot.
Steve brought up.
Let's take a look here.
He brought this up before. On
Places. You can have a nice tour.
yeah, no, nice tour.
I can race there, of course.
Before we could watch him close it down. That was one of the suggestions. Buildings, everything. Are you going to charge him? But I mean, just when you sell a car, he says, no, I'm going to say the price of the I didn't know we were doing that. That sounds like the clubs give that free.
Well, I thought you were talking, that's what you were talking
For a couple of lines, yeah.
That's the reason to do the 3-row classic.
Advertising.
It's a North Texas region tradition, the annual chili cook-off, this year at Phil Compton's garage.
Preferably a New Yorker. And I called, the minute I saw in the paper I called, it was sold immediately.
I was going out the door to go to Scottsdale and had to make a rash decision, so I traded them.
It's great.
Did you bring my ball?
We're really very happy to be there.
all the way down there, floated all the way back. But guy had a piston slap in it down. Got to replace the piston. I thought must get down.
I surrender.
You want a koala bear? Yeah. I haven't had one of those.
I get it.
Cranberry milk.
Then you don't have to have any.
Oh, well, don't say that when we're on camera now.
I'm stealing recipes right now.
For Bloody Mary.
You were at the Hermitage? You saw the art?
I'm glad to see him do it. Next year. Well, next year.
You gotta be careful though.
Wait a minute, this is my good side.
You're supposed to have this big thing, Chuck. It's Packer next year.
Featured this year, and Jim took his.
I think that's going to be a Hershey. I talked to one fellow that bought 3 sets of Hershey last year. Oh, my side. I got 2 of the other side.
Yeah, we're taking out your shot just for the hell of it.
UPS.
No, I think I brought a couple hundred with me.
Yeah, okay, I'll make it.
Which one? Here's the chili. You want to? I go in. Put the right chili in.
Now, these judges really seem serious to me.
There you go. That is just
What I did.
Hi, Sarah. I judge it.
come back.
10 hours, 11 hours a day out there. Where does one find a spoon? Over there. Not over there. Hi, darling. One, 2, 3.
Were these judges this conscientious at Grand Classic?
I numbered them.
You have to clean your palate with a drink of beer, of course, between bowls.
Well, now Blair thought a Bloody Mary was the appropriate cleansing.
This may take more work than I thought.
Are they all that good or that bad?
I'm just that hungry.
Take one, Chili Championship, 1993. As we know, we had 4 entrants, and we need the 4 entrants to stand up by their chilies.
Honey, but
Do I have to move?
You stay there. No, you can stay there.
you're
Because
one of them.
I'm one of them.
I'm one of them too, and I can't let go of this camera, so.
Okay. Everybody by their chili.
We're going to have it reverse order.
Whose is this? Phil.
Fourth place was my chili because it was too hot this year.
Which one's your number?
Well, it was the one that was too hot. It was number 2.
Number 2 was the hot one.
So I kind of overdid the jalapenos and the fireworks. I call it Jurassic Park chili. Okay.
Have been running and everything.
Chili number 3, which is this lovely little trophy, is, let's see, number 3.
Thank you, thank
you. Chili number 2, second place, is chili number 1. Which means we have a new champion chili cooker, Diane.
Hey, Diane didn't have anything to do with it. She wasn't even home.
You notice that's a chili bowl that's all empty. I mean, that's like...
You should take a picture of Chuck.
It's a lot better if he runs the camera.
You mean he holds it steady?
Sometimes.
Between the two of them, I had a hard time finally deciding. It says well wrapped.
Indian flavor there. I don't know. I thought it was Phil's because he likes Indian food. I thought her chili had
Texas rosemary.
You gotta open it up inside. That has got like every...
They are.
Use that.
Is that a new thing?
Does this mean we have to plan a tour or something? Are there any good chili recipes in it, if you look?
I thought there was. I was looking. I didn't get that far. Everything sounded so good. Since I wrapped it, I didn't.
Oh, then you know what's in it, huh?
Chuck Conrad's been awarded a Chairman of the Year type award by National. They gave us a nice letter, folded up in the... Wait a minute, where is it?
Simple for framing if you can flatten it out.
Where's the rest of it? Oh. I haven't taken it out yet. Here it is. And anyway, I recommended him. But anyway, they voted to give him one unanimously, by the way. National did.
If I can figure out how to open it.
You are now an official past director.
We'll have to recruit new chili talent, I guess, and open it up to the public, maybe. Some Tolberts to come in, or Mr. Wolf in his can, or something.
We'll give away a grand prize, the rebuild engine of your choice.
It was a pretty warm Saturday in July when we all went to Bob Smith's Coach Works. Bobby's got a great restoration shop and he's building a chrome facility in Gainesville, Texas. Let's take a look and see what we saw.
Got to tour Gainesville. This is Bobby Smith. We got them all here so we can get started.
Like I said, I'll do what I can.
But I've heard.
We really thank you for coming out on this hot day. Bobby, this is what is our classic car club, the hardcore group.
That's good. Well, I know a lot of y'all, and I've met some of y'all already.
what we do here, we do 10 operations in-house. I'll just give you a quick rundown. Some of you already heard this and already know, but for the ones that don't, is we have capabilities in-house to build you a car from scratch. We don't do kit cars, and I don't do recreations. What I mean recreations is taking a GTE and make a GTO out of it, or whatever it might be. Everything you see here is real, and our capabilities in-house, we can build a chassis from scratch. The 300 SL chassis that you see in the jig in the back, we can look at shortly, was burned up in a fire. We recreated that chassis from scratch down to the exact spot welds and the cage nuts and the little pieces that are welded onto the chassis. We have all the capabilities of sheet metal in-house. We can create you a body from scratch with all the equipment like Europeans do, and it's done here. We do all the engine building and everything here, disassembly, reassembly. We do our own dyno work with the dyno. Y'all just missed that by one day because we just finished dynoing the engine in this car that's going to Pebble Beach in 17 days with this one. And we do all that in-house. We do all the electrical harnesses we build in-house, all the upholstery in-house, any wood or woodworking in-house. Any polishing, jeweling, or anything like that in-house, machine work in-house, and anything in between. And so we tear the gearbox off back apart, figure out what's wrong, go have the rings made in the machine shop, and put it in the
And it's heat, like this. Already picked? Already. Oh my gosh. All picked.
I'll tell you what, they could drive it for 10 years and get the money back. Well, I'll tell you what, we can have the story in this car.
Take it to the place, you can spray it.
Attention. Well, that's what I'm down to. Down to
Quality of the welding to make it look original. Well, you know, that's the kind of deal where the guy that's welding.
I forgot. Now, this is the Atlanta pin.
This work area here, the mechanical work's done, and final assembly a lot of times is done from here. Go through the shop and show you where the parts and pieces This room here is storage room. There's several overlapping things that are stored here. Each one of the cars has a dolly. When we take things apart, it's all put in baggies. It's wrote on the baggies what it is. It goes into the parts tubs. Windshields and panels are stored in these that we're working on, and then we'll lay it out on a table in the parts and pieces as we do our assembly. And doing it this way, I can keep up with having a half a dozen or a dozen cars apart and find the pieces. Because
the tailpipes.
Details and nuts and bolts and pieces that go to the radiator that goes on the 250S.
Well, it's not hard on it. The GTS back in the, still end up wearing it out. Just got a silver.
Yeah, right. No, it ran like a novel.
What happens after that, once you stretch the piece, because that's what this machine does, is just stretches. And you have a piece, this one goes through the stretches right, shot bag or sandbag, that's what this is here, it's got bird shot. Take a set of hands around the outside, you just run it with this, and then draw pilot or whatever you need to do. There are shrinker and stretcher that are mechanical rather than electrically done. Big machine here is a trimmer. Put that thing on and stuff it like that. So with the wooden stuff in the back,
And I said, what's the problem? He said, well, he said,
In these work areas in here, we do a combination of several things. This entire room is all concrete. Next door, make a piece and then come over here and then install it. Like this area here will probably be cut out. And then this car, give a little quick background on this car. This car won the Tour de France in 1956. The car was restored in Italy, and we're just undoing some of the Italian things they did to it, as far as back the nuts and bolts again. And we just polished it out. The paint on it's not too bad, but it's going to show out there with the well washed.
After lunch, we gathered outside of Gainesville at Bobby's new chrome plating facility. When we visited, the building had not been completed, but Bobby was moving in, and this is going to be just the ultimate in EPA environmentally friendly chrome plating facilities anywhere in the world. This is what we're all going to.
Right. Well,
can't use this for anything else?
We've got.
We're supposed to sell
this side.
What's going through it on each one?
Piece of concrete to see what they dug underneath here, because he's not kidding us, and it's like 25 feet.
Well, long ago we established that one thing we all like to do in this region is eat, and another thing we like to do is tell tall tales, so having a tire kicker breakfast at Kell's Kitchen just makes a lot of sense to the NTR. Get the line up. You having fun this morning?
No, but I think it's hard.
17?
We didn't have good numbers this time. Just keep everything.
We had 30 to 32 the last 2 times. But we only had a 4-day notice. This time. Well, I tried to tell everybody that I was talking. Bringing the car.
The problem is that we're
It looks like an Olympic event, doesn't it? You put your stuff in the bottom.
I didn't know he started that yet this year. You start being a yes. You're too old. The creative use of words. What's that mean? I'm ready to study it.
yeah, what's neat a little work mean exactly?
That's in the 95% restored category.
Say that again.
All it means is it doesn't have any rust. It needs everything but rust.
Okay. And rust can be provided for at small additional costs?
Probably we can find some rust somewhere.
you are so.
Now it's a hot dogging Schreiman.
What dog?
Yeah, the hot dog comes later.
Well, I know. All the sides. But he's got to paint that vertical. You can't lay it down, so he's got to paint it vertical. So that's it. We'll have to do it again. But I can't believe that that's the same paint. Probably will. Stuff he's in it. Oh, yeah.
Really?
No, I'm not going to tell you on camera. Here it is, right here.
What is it you're not going to point out?
My rusty hubcap. You're going to take a picture of it.
You mean this one down here?
Yes, that brown looking thing.
The black one.
That's a fun part of drawing.
I bet it is too.
Yeah, it's 10 players. They made it for several
Well, enough of this breakfast stuff. Let's get into the serious eating at the Mott's annual picnic. It's usually held, and this year was no exception, the weekend before Hershey, and everybody has a great time. We invite the RROC to participate, so we get some interesting cars and some great people.
No, I was in the Civil Engineer Corps. I connected with the CB for that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't with the CB battalion.
I will hose to my engine room upstairs.
Okay.
That's a little bit.
So next year, well, I was going to bring a car, but it was in the shop. It wasn't a classic, but it's what I'm going to drive. I was going to bring the Oldsmobile. But the Oldsmobile.
What kind of sandwich is that?
A mushroom, beef mushroom burger, I think.
I thought possibly.
Yeah, I like cold fried chicken.
Do you? Oh, if I'd known that, I could have gone and got some. I like cold fried chicken.
And I told me about going around.
And you know, used to going from decamp to Dallas, there was not much traffic in the policemen. They didn't
Later,
get my
oh yeah, came up and asked for help on this and that and was doing better. But when he didn't have any families, he was going to do anything.
Pretty good.
No sandwich.
Yeah, I missed you.
Sure, what kind you got?
What kind do you want? We got it all.
We got ham and cheese on rye and pimento.
Well, that ought to work.
We also have without pastrami, without corned beef, without chicken salad.
You heard me the first time, Chuck.
Yeah, but I didn't have the record button pushed right then.
Yeah, what, just like a man? He smells food and comes home every time? Oh.
Did you check on it? Oh, no, I kept saying, do you hear it? Do you
What?
Did you just that? It's real loud. You're just there.
These are plates. Is that all you need, 2 plates?
It doesn't look like it was like this. It was about the same size.
But it didn't look suspicious. There you are, a young guy
Yeah,
by
right.
yourself, going to drive in like,
Exactly.
well, I don't have anybody with me in the truck.
No.
Are we discussing how many people you get in this thing?
I think that is the prettiest style. Rather than the XT or
It's excellent. Position. You know, you're comfortable in other ways, right? 49. 47. 47.
Art Deco touches, the lights, all the, the circular and vertical lines, the door pulls. Also the wood graining on this is really superior. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And not worn.
Right. I bet you couldn't get a thing like that. Nobody would follow the line.
Been admiring your
Love it.
car.
It's elegant, it's
And
understated.
So you have to go do everybody's earrings.
Shirley's were Southwestern.
Yeah. Yes.
And they're Southwestern.
Yes.
And look at that.
It has to be the grand finale. Yeah.
Earrings.
Oh, I see.
I got this. Thanks, John.
okay, well,
As a matter of fact, I think they're Sicilian, if I'm not.
And on the highway, when you're traveling 60, 65.
I don't know what you call this, just the loopity-loop.
there we go. A nice little snapshot of your earrings.
Oh, thank you.
October's a really busy month for the North Texas region. To pay for this video and some of our printing habits, we show our cars at Preston Forest Village every year. This year's show, sponsored by Fred Teicher of the Automotive Emporium, featured the Neo Classic cars, which are classic cars of the next 10 years, even though they're not classics yet, but maybe they're classics in training. Let's take a look. haven't taken absolutely every shot of absolutely every Classic Car Club event in the North Texas region this year, but it's damn close to it. But thanks to Bill Mott, who's holding the camera right now, you're going to get to see my smiling face for just a second.
How would they?
Good, Chuck.
Oh, he's taking pictures of everything.
You probably don't want any of these.
No, we don't want any secrets.
Break the camera.
What are we looking at here? Big glitch on your fender, maybe?
A car.
We're looking at
okay.
this Rolls Royce.
On the job training here.
Yeah, you're blind leading.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Blind leading blind. We're
Picture of the carburetor.
picture of the carburetor for a 2025.
Another thing, sometime we got to do.
You just can't help but love the kid on the running board. By the way, he was vaporized a couple seconds later. Our host was the Automotive Emporium, Fred Teicher's establishment. Let's take a look inside.
Just looking around. A little bit off center, perhaps. At least they're not to cut your ears off, socializing and relaxing and riding in cars. And it's neat.
November brings us to the end of the Classic Car Club year. Our annual meeting was held at the Energy Club in Dallas, and everyone seemed to have a great time, which really shouldn't come as any great surprise because it was a great year. If there's anything North Texas Region members know how to do, it's enjoying each other's company, so we had a great time. Tonight, Ward Beebe passes the gavel to our new regional director, John Haynes.
John Haynes has been nominated and elected to be your new director. John, I can't say that I'm not happy to hand over the gavel to you. Thank you, John. Yes, sir.
I'm happy to be your new director. I think we have a good board to carry out the coming year's work.
After a fine meal, we were entertained by Hubert Cook, who shared some of his excellent home movies and his remembrances of the early days of classic car collecting in our area.
He said, up here we have a special classic car heaven. I said, how do you get there? He said, well, all you do is climb up this ladder. He said, here's a piece of chalk. You take this chalk, and as you go up this ladder, you write down every lie you ever told about classic cars. Well, I had told a few lies, but I started going up this ladder, and I was writing down all these lies I told. All of a sudden, somebody came down and stepped on my fingers, excruciating pain. I looked up, there was Fred Teicher coming. I said, Fred, why are you coming down? He said, more chalk.
Well, it's really hard to believe that another year's gone by already. It's also pretty hard to believe I'm still wearing the same sweater, too. So that's just part of the magic of television. This all has been assembled right in my very own garage, and it's just been done as an effort of the North Texas region of Classic Car Club of America to see if this is a good idea. And we're not real sure, but it looked like fun. It seemed like fun, so it must be a good idea. We're going to do it again next year, it looks like. So give us your input. And actually, if you'd like to help a little bit, we'd sure like that. Bring your camcorder to the next event. Take some pictures, because you'll see something a different way than I do, and we can edit it together and have a much better set of videos. And of course, there's times that I just can't come to all the events, too. You probably noticed a couple of conspicuous missing items here. So that's why I just had something else I had to do that day, and I'm sure you all understand that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the tape. You all have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next year.